Do you wonder how fit you'll have to be when you're older? Our VO2 max levels might give us the answer. We all want to live long and healthy lives. This is clearly seen by how much we spend on fitness. In 2020, the global fitness industry generated over $90 billion in revenue according to Deloitte. You might be wondering, how does my VO2 max relate to my future fitness levels? Let's start by looking at what VO2 max is. VO2 max, or maximum oxygen consumption, is the measurement of how much oxygen a person can use during intense exercise. The more oxygen a person can use, the more energy they will produce. This is our best indicator for cardiovascular health. In 2022, the International Journal for Health Science and Research published this two-dimensional matrix. It allows us to determine a male's VO2 rating based on their VO2 measurement and age. The matrix comprises of 7 columns. The first one, containing age, which is a factor of the matrix, starts at 13 and ends at 60 plus. The other 6 columns represents the rating, which uses familiar and easy to understand terms like fair and familiar. The rows contain VO2 values that corresponds to the person's age and rating. As we can see, our VO2 max decreases as we get older, and elite athletes in their 20s would have a greater VO2 max than they would in their 60s. Dr. Guilford, an associate professor of physiology, compiled an interesting data visualization using VO2 max data from the ACSM Guidelines 10th edition. The visual is a line chart with 2 axes. The y-axis represents the VO2 max values. The x-axis is the person's age in years, with the major breaks increasing by 10 years. This is useful because the data trend indicates our VO2 max decreases roughly 10% every 10 years. Dr. Guilford plotted 3 trend lines: green for an individual with high fitness, black for average fitness, and red for low fitness. The visual has a second y-axis that lists the required VO2 max for certain activities, like jogging on a flat ground. Secondary y-axes are not normally recommended, but in this case drives an important point in a clear fashion. We can see some worrying insights using this visualization, such as a person with a low fitness level barely be able to walk up a slight incline by the time they're 55. Let's compare 2 75-year-old people, one with a high fitness level, the other with a low level. The 75-year-old with the high level of fitness can briskly climb upstairs. A 75-year-old with low fitness wouldn't be able to walk up an incline. Now you see how important your VO2 max is.